The Travis County man waited 3 years for his day in court after his arrest on a felony drunk driving charge, only to see the case against him fall apart during trial.
The case against the 39-year-old father, which could have put him behind bars for 2 years, instead led to a dismissal and an apology from the Travis County DA after he admits his office went forward with a shaky case. Here's senior reporter Tony Plea with this KVUE Defenders exclusive.
As he sat in a Travis County courtroom late last month, Harold Mitchell posted this selfie and a caption about being put on trial.
I was shaking like a cat in a hot tin roof, you understand? I was shaking. You know, it was just a lot of pressure and a lot of bullying. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
3 years earlier, the 39-year-old father found himself in the back of an APD patrol car.
Taken to jail, booked, you know what I mean? I had to live with that shame for quite some time.
This affidavit charging him with felony DWI said he was driving 91 in a 65 zone on South Mopac with his 3 children and failed a field sobriety test. He was subjected to a blood draw at the jail. In late July, Mitchell became the first person to stand trial in Travis County since the pandemic. But his case, which could have landed him in prison, had a fatal flaw that prosecutors could have easily discovered with a simple phone call.
I want to start by apologizing to Mr. Mitchell. He has suffered through a process that I can only imagine has taken a toll on he and his family.
On the second day of testimony, just as prosecutors were about to call an expert witness, they had a conversation about Mitchell's blood test. It showed Mitchell had a blood alcohol of .075, just below the legal limit. According to Garza and court transcripts, the toxicologist told prosecutors that she could not extrapolate that he was intoxicated at the time of his arrest. Garza acknowledges those prosecutors never talked to the toxicologist before taking the case to jurors, a key part of trial preparation. And another prosecutor who reviewed the case 2 years ago noted in the case file her concerns about the strength of the evidence.
The state fell far short of its obligations and responsibilities in this case.
Without scientific proof of intoxication, prosecutors say they no longer had the evidence necessary to go forward with the case. What happened to Mitchell is an insight into the criminal justice system and how a misstep or oversight by prosecutors can have dire consequences for defendants. Mitchell's case ended up with a dismissal because of insufficient evidence. Now, the county's top felony prosecutor is apologizing.
The reality is, when the state brings a case against someone, our obligation is to ensure that we have sufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they committed a crime.
Mitchell says although he is relieved that his case was dismissed, he's frustrated that he had to scrape together $7,000 for a lawyer and live for 3 years with the threat of going to prison.
I didn't know what was gonna happen, Tony. My freedom never meant so much to me.
Garza says his office has put new procedures in place to better screen cases before taking them to trial. That includes a requirement that prosecutors go before an internal panel if their case largely depends on expert testimony, as it did in Mitchell's case. Brian?
Senior reporter Tony Plea live in our newsroom tonight. Tony, thank you.